We know whether the board is has fully followed the direction of the bylaw and elect their members like we don't have vice chairman, secretary, treasurer so far. We need these positions to be completed. And also, probably, as I have told you last time, I'm planning to resign. I did not send you my resignation letter, but I will request you officially, verbally, to approve that. And then I will send the letter immediately after this meeting is done. So there are, and if you accept that, then we'll also talk about the election of the chairperson. So we need at least 3 positions to be filled: secretary, treasurer, and chairperson. Probably vice chair, if the board agrees on it, then we can elect. Our bylaw, I don't know your opinion. We haven't heard from you if you read it, but we present the bylaw to apply for charity, and a lawyer who is working on the charity application said there are some concerns about the bylaw, that there are items or changes has to be made in some areas, or so that it fits the application for charitable status. We need that. My suggestion to the board members is that the activities of the organization and the board positions really need to be looked at it. What I mean is, if the chairperson is elected and secretary and the treasurer is elected, then the board will have its role, and on what is going on now. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for a chairperson alone to do everything when it comes to the activities of the board. Bylaw also has to be very clear, and we have to hear from you. I hope you have read if there is any concern. Saying that, today we are going to hear from you about the bylaw, if you had a chance to read, and then we'll concentrate on the elections of secretary and treasurer, as well as the chairperson, if you don't mind. I will agree with that. If we elect the chairperson today, I don't mind, unless it gets conflict with the bylaw. Unless the bylaw says I have to resign and then the chairperson has to be elected. So what we are going to look at it to hear from you about the bylaw. 1, to elect those vacant positions, to elect members or vice chairman, secretary and treasurer for the vacant position. The other thing is, I think the board has to be involved. Now we are only 8 of us. The board is supposed to be 13, and some members are not here. and this has to be changed also. As Focus is a small when Focus was a small organization, I mean, we had a board. The job didn't require that many board members, and we were dealing with issues in a very simple way because there is no activity. But now we need really very strong board, and also jobs has to be done properly. I feel we are missing things. Agendas now are not prepared properly. I mean, even after it's discussed, there is no secretary to take minutes. And there are a few incomplete things. So the board has to actively work on this. And as a chairperson now, if you ask me if I could do this, really no, because I have other activities I'm dealing with, and it's really very difficult, overwhelming totally, to do both jobs without secretary, without treasurer. So I plead that you accept my resignation, and we can go ahead. That's one thing. So then after that, we'll listen to the executive director's report on the organization and activities which we have been working on, and about the project which has been approved. Because the election might take some time, and then I will give priority to Badri to present the activity report, and then we'll go back to the other agendas and talk about those agendas. Badri, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think my report is maybe secondary to the board's issue, because many people are not coming, and the economy is not always the economy is always under the required amount, and there are so many issues like the bylaw has not been approved. I think this is our third meeting, and so like what I suggest, I don't know what the other members say. I have prepared the activity report. I read it to you. Would you think, Mr. Mohammed, we go ahead with the report and read the activity report, or just today mostly focus on fixing this board problem, because people are here wasting their time, like, or taking some other commitments, and this board thing has to be just like something it has to be based on firm ground, so that we don't worry about the time of starting the meeting, like the absentees issue, and whether we continue with this amount, or like as our bylaw, previous one and the current one indicates, our board members could be between 5 and 15. We were trying to get like as much number as possible, up to 15. This is not working. Like there are 2 people I know has never come to this meeting, and so my bottom line suggestion is, will we continue with the activity report, or just exhaustively deal with the board issue today?
Well, at least
we take comment from the members and continue. I know
yeah.
we prepared the way you just asked me to present, because we prepared that way. From the situation, I think this board issue needs priority. If other members feel like that way, we can discuss about board and fix this issue, even talk about it, and then come to the activity report. I will read it, and then the members comment on the activity or advise us, or yeah.
Well, I see now we have only 6 members. No, 8 members.
Yeah, 8 members.
8 members board, okay.
It's not clear to me,
We can hear from you. Yes.
It's not clear to me if we have 7 or 8. Have you already resigned, or are you still on the board at this moment?
You haven't decided yet. If you guys say, go ahead, I will resign.
Then we have either 8 or 7.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So, Badri, my idea is to maybe talk a little bit about the board issues, but also with that, I know that you have some urgent matters. Like, for example, is the resignation an urgent matter? Do we have to finalize the resignation today? Are there any guidance you want from us in terms of conducting the project you just signed with the Red Cross? So if there are urgent matters that you need to work on and finalize, we do that. And then we agree on next meeting, we focus on approving the bylaw, okay? Based on the situations we have, based on, do we really need 15 members on the board, okay? How are these people elected? How are these people let go of the board if they don't come to the board? So agree on all these legal matters within the bylaw and pass the bylaw, and then from then we just implement the bylaw.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, another activity, as I said earlier, I'm apologizing for that presidential. Isn't it too early to this resignation? I mean, like the board is just being bored. Very, we're really at the beginning of this thing. Maybe the other thing that might be considered in spite of like, for you to not to resign, but to share activities among other members of the board, helping you on secretary issues and treasury issues and stuff like that. And I would appreciate if the resignation comes sometime later when this board gets a little bit stronger. I don't know if you can reconsider your resignation at this time and postpone it at least. We definitely want you to stay with us. You are our inspiration. That's how we even like get into this board. That's my whole point of joining you guys. You're the reason I came to this place. So I don't know why. I don't understand the urgency of this resignation. Isn't it too early, Mr. Jamshid? Is there any other things you can reconsider, or are there any other issues that we can resolve to reverse this matter? Thank you.
I think Thala was not here when we talked last time, and if you explain about that, he understands it.
Yeah, we discussed last time. We mentioned a couple of issues and the concerns. Like when we started this project, Badri and I were working on it from the beginning all the way till we became to this level. Now the The project is expanding. We have been applying. We have already applied for 2 more projects. It's on the way. So in one way, I'm really, you know, Salah, what I'm talking. The business I am in is very, very crucial also, and I have to be there most of the times. And then when I come here, there is board activity, and there is also another activities like working on the programs, giving a hand for Badri. The projects need somebody who has an idea, and we haven't hired enough people yet. And I'm working on that too with him. And in the future also, if this organization expands, people are needed to work also on the programs. I'm giving a hand for Badri, as well as the board. There are, I have been being in 3 places, like my personal activities in the board as well as in the programs. So it's a kind of overwhelming because we don't have secretary yet. We haven't hired. So these are all were taken into considerations when we spoke last time. So the best way for me is to resign from the board and focus on other activities which we really where is needed. Actually, board meets twice every 2 weeks so far, but still it has. You know, it needs a fresh mind to bring all these things together. There are so many things which board has to work on. It's not easy. Policies and also bylaws and the relationship between the board and what kind of board we are running and executive director. All this has to be settled immediately to make this viable organization and to continue. So that asks a lot of time and to be prepared. So for me, I decided it's better to focus in 1 or 2 areas than being in so many places. And, you know,
Yeah.
that's why
Sorry to interrupt you. And I understand like it's not an easy job at all. I agree 100% on that. But that being said, I feel still, I don't know. Badri, how would you reflect on this? I really want to hear how you're gonna see this. What you have to say? Isn't it too early?
Yeah. I think it was me who even first raised the issue of Mr. Damshaw would resign from the board and concentrate on working with me, because even if he was board director for many years, he was acting like executive executive worker, like as he was working sometimes as secretary, sometimes as a proposal writer or whatever. And I asked the board to consider getting another person to be a chairman of the board. And this is also related to the type of the board we have. We said our board would be, our board is a policy board, and we cannot choose someone from the executive or chairman, secretary, or treasurer to come down to executive branch or daily activities. So it's a kind of like, it's not a kind of resignation per se, it's a kind of following the legality of the board and the executive relation, and letting the focus work on the ground be supported by two strong persons who knew in and out of this organization, and who are really committed for the success of the organization.
Oh, understand. I get you. The kind of like shifting activity.
Yes, yes.
More of like day-to-day activity.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead.
Please be part of the thing. And if you have suggestions, comments, questions, go ahead.
Can I say something? Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And I personally also would like us, if we can focus on the strengthening the board. And what I see now is the board is like some members are not showing up at the meeting. We need to sort these out and have members of the board who can participate on a meeting on a timely basis and have a plan and work on that plan on a timely basis, and have all the policy that you and Badri mentioned regarding the relationship between the board and the directors and other members of the executive committee cleared and laid down and have a direction. So I think it will be better if we focus on making sure the board itself is working, and also all of us are attending. If we're not attending, we need to resign automatically. If I'm a board of member and I can't attend one meeting, I should resign. I should tell you right away. That's how I feel. Yeah, don't take me wrong. So we need to be upfront, and this is a policy board, and we need to be a member and participate it and give our ideas and opinions and fully support executive directors and all the other executive team. So I would like us to focus on strengthening the board and having some discussion about it moving forward regarding the policy board. What are we thinking about those people? And I was looking through the bylaws, and I didn't come up across exactly, if I'm not mistaken, regarding if the board member doesn't show up, what happens. So maybe so the bylaw for the board is totally separate from the members bylaw. So I didn't come up. I was kind of looking, if the board member doesn't show up one meeting or the second meeting, what happens to that person in terms of, even though we have board policy, we need to have a system in place to make all of us accountable as a board member. So I would like us to focus on that and strengthen the board, and then we can tackle each issue one by one as we move forward. And unless we do that, we're gonna be one meeting after meeting, the quorum is not there, the board members are not full. So yeah, that's what I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Can I also add a few comments as well?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so I agree as well that I think resolving this board issue is probably, especially because with the elections, and it wasn't entirely clear in the bylaw and the other supporting document what the election process looks like, right? Is there a nomination process? Like, is there a formal process? So, you know, given the fact that not everybody is here, we don't even have, not everyone's going to be given an opportunity, right, to put in their names for, to nominate themselves for a position. So there's that issue, but I do think that obviously reducing the numbers, right? I think you said 5 to 15 is what is mentioned in the bylaws. So from a managing perspective, I think reducing those numbers will obviously make it a lot easier to manage, right? To ensure that people are showing up. But then also maybe I would recommend sending a message to the existing board members, the ones that either haven't participated at all or those who are, participating, part-time, to just inquire, right? Like what's exactly going on and do you still want to participate? And then exactly clarifying in the bylaws what the conditions, right, for one's participation should look like. I don't necessarily agree that if one misses a meeting that we should be, forced to resign. But I think that, typically sending your regrets, right? Sometimes things come up. So sending your regrets to inform the board that you're going to be one less person. Then you know exactly what issues to tackle with if you're going to have enough quorum. Did 5 people send regrets? Did 2 people send regrets? It gives us kind of a better view for how to prepare anyone and kind of manage any one meeting. But yeah, I think too with the bylaws, there's a lot of stuff you'd mentioned, Mr. Dumshaw, at the beginning, that there were some concerns that have been raised about the bylaws. So it would be nice to also know what those concerns are so that we're not reinventing the wheel. Because I have a couple of comments myself about the bylaws, about things that I think are missing that should be in there. From my own kind of background on other bylaws that I've looked at from my own participation in other boards and stuff. So it would be good to know what those concerns are. If you could share those concerns and probably in a document of some sort would be super helpful. And I'm also thinking that it would be good if we put the bylaw and shared it on a Google document, right? Amongst the board members, and that way we can comment directly on there. So we're not just like talking about it and then someone has to take that information and translate it. So we could just do it all like on a live document. And then with that too, I think that maybe a way to help with participation in the future is sending like a doodle poll. I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with the doodle poll, to get a sense of what people's schedules are like. I know the first meeting that I wasn't at the second meeting, but the first one, a number of people said that Saturdays at this time wasn't good for them, right? So just to kind of make it a bit more egalitarian of a process about, how many people, because if we do a Google Doc and kind of put the availability across the board, then we get a sense of when people are mostly available and then schedule meetings for that particular time. Yeah, I think that's all the comments or concerns that I have.
Thank you so much, Beefy.
Yeah, can I say one thing, Mr. Mohammed?
Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah, guys, like there are things that made this board a kind of historic and the strong our ambition, according to our ambition, at least the strong, the would-be strongest board Focus would ever have. One thing, like when we moved from Alberta to federal, we submitted our Alberta bylaw to get the status continued from province to federal. So that document is no more valid for the federal organization, non-for-profit corporation. So the government of Canada has, when they give you the license, they have the template or a kind of bylaw builder app on their website. So you go to the bylaw and enter your information, it produces the bylaw for you. The bylaw we sent you is a bylaw that was produced like that, and that was something sent to them. Our hope was when we come together like today, we see if that bylaw fulfills all what we need, considering the nature of our people, the people we serve, the type of organization we aspire to be. That is what you should consider, we should consider. The other one is even the board itself, although with the consent of all the board, you came together. Our hope was from the day one the board meets, they take over all the responsibilities and elect the leader, the chairman, secretary at least, or treasurer, and then start the board business. That is what still is expected. After that, so what is missing, as many of you have already mentioned, what do we have in place? What are we missing? How we fulfill those things that are what should be next. The point Beef raised is so valid, as I told you at the beginning. Like our board can be any odd number between 5 and 15. So it could be 7, it could be 9, 11, 13. So it is up to these, especially those who were continuously or regularly participating in this meeting, that we can either go with the available member, reducing to like that odd number and go ahead, or we try to get more strong people. Anyways, my point is here, please consider yourself as the board that is dealing with a new organization, especially when it comes to the board. So like when you establish new organization, you can start with the 3 people and bring all the things in place, and then you go from there. If there is some legality aspects, you fulfill all that. So anyways, I wanted to just pushing the ball towards your corner to do something today, so that this historic project we won should be successfully accomplished. Without strong board, without board deliberating at this meeting, it is very unlikely for the project we already got from the government to be successfully accomplished. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Badri. So I think this is the board meeting. You board members be involved as much as we can. There are suggestions and issues raised by Beef2. Beef2 suggests that she went through the bylaws and she couldn't even find how to, whether the people to be elected go through the recommendation, or how to elect the board members is not included in the bylaw. So she suggests that there are other issues too, but she suggests that the way we go about it by putting it on the document itself on the computer, where everybody, board members, could share and suggest their opinions and look at it. And if I don't know if any one of you can take that role and put the bylaws on within the form where everybody can share, so that the bylaws could be completed as soon as possible, and then we go ahead for the election. I think if Beef2 could help us with that form where everybody can join and we accomplish it, I think that would be great. Yeah. So next time we know we have an idea, how to conduct the election, the process, election process. Are you willing to accept that, Beef2?
Yeah, I'd be happy. Yeah, I'll get that document, and I will just copy and paste it onto a Google Docs. I'll send you the link. That way you can send it, because I don't know if I have everyone's email or if there's
we have group
a group email. If there's a group email, so then I'll just send the link out to everybody. And then maybe also just to kind of formalize the process a little bit, we can agree to a deadline for when people can, post their comments and revisions to that document. That way we could just keep the, process consistent, and it will allow us to move in once we decide how we will go about elections, right? How we want to elect and go through the nomination process, then we can think about actually holding the elections, and with that too, having in mind who are we all going to have, right, as part of the board team, whether we'll keep the numbers the same, whether we're going to recruit for other people. But I think first and foremost, just getting that bylaw, and it can always be amended too, right? So, but just getting it, some of the more, I think, important issues on there, specifically around elections. Because I'm like, I don't know even, how do we go about elections right now? Like, what did you guys do in the past? It sounds like it was just kind of done among the board members, but how do we create a process that allows everybody that wants to participate in the elections to also participate, which is hard to do right now because people aren't all here, right? So as a step one and maybe step two, focus on the election. And what's a good timeline for people? Like, I don't know if everyone's had a chance to look at the bylaws. What's a good time frame for giving us time to reflect and comment or make revisions on that? A week, 2 weeks? What seems reasonable?
Yes.
Carlos?
Carlos.
You're muted.
Go ahead, Carlos. Unmute.
Just seems to me that if we're meeting twice a week, that we would want to still.
Yeah, go ahead. No, unmute it. Unmute it.
No, it's okay now.
No. Unmute it, Carlos. Yes.
Now can you hear me? All right. It seems to me if we're meeting twice a week, that a good deadline might be less than 2 weeks. Something just slightly less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So you got Beef2?
Yeah, so 2 weeks. And then for anyone that has had a chance to review the bylaws, any other like glaring things that stood out? Like for me, it was the elections. I think probably better description of like roles and things like that. What was brought up today too, issues around participation too, like what required, kind of the kind of formal process for how often people are required to participate. Is there anything else that jumps in terms of themes, like that jumps out for people? Because I'll flag that in kind of an introduction to the bylaws, and then obviously you're free to comment as much as you want, throughout the document as well.
Yeah, so Beef2, can I say?
Just Gamachu. Can anyone help me with the minutes, please? Because we are going to make a decision now. I'm so sorry. I didn't request at the beginning. Anyone volunteer from the board?
I think Beef2 can help us.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Beef2?
Yeah.
No. Okay. In another way, all board.
Is this for the meeting right now, or are we talking about?
Not about what we talk about, just
today.
Oh yeah, I've already got like a whole bunch of.
Yeah. That is why.
Notes everywhere, so I can send this stuff for sure. Yeah, that's no problem.
I already saw that.
Because I saw we are heading to make decision and to work on the bylaws, and it's very important to keep the document so we can review next time. Okay, Gamachu.
Yes, yes, yeah. Most of the points Bifto have already mentioned. On the point that I mentioned a while ago, on top of that, I just want to add the role of the board. And for some reason, I didn't see in the bylaw, or unless I missed it, the role of the board and the responsibility of the director of the board, the secretary, and all that. It will be also a good idea to have it in there on top of the one that I previously mentioned. That was something that I realized wasn't in there.
Okay, thank you so much. I think all the issues now you mentioned and others will be discussed on when Bifto prepares Google Doc, and then we all suggest our inputs there. We can input them there. One thing very important before we don't miss, Bifto raised also another thing, saying that is it Saturday good for the board members to? Can we also talk about that? No, for the meeting today, this time on Saturday. She said it was an issue people raised. Yes, Carlos.
If you had suggested that we do a doodle poll, and I think that's probably the best way. It'll save us time also if we don't spend that time talking about it now.
Yeah.
If we do a doodle poll, we can all see what everybody's availability is, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
I think, this is Mohammed. I think the idea of the doodle poll will be a good idea if we are moving a meeting from one time to another time. But I think what we are trying to do, especially in the first few meetings, for example, maybe the next 2-3 meetings, these are going to be maybe every 2 weeks, the same time to just hold that date, okay? And I think till we finalize the bylaw, till we finalize few things and start the smooth running, then the idea of the doodle poll, if we are changing from time to a time, we can use that.
Okay.
So why don't we take like a down the middle approach where to get a sense of where people's schedules are right now, what works for people, because Saturday for me at this time isn't necessarily the best time, but I'm just making myself available because it was, agreed upon previously, but to maybe get a sense like how we're going to, set those meetings going forward. And then exactly, I agree with you that we don't need to necessarily have the doodle polled for every meeting. It's more work anyways. And then, if there's going to be a change to have a doodle poll to make that change. How does that sound for folks? And I can send the doodle. I can also. I'd be happy to send the doodle poll request to kind of initiate a set meeting time.
Yeah.
Is it bi-weekly meetings? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I
on
this bylaw issue?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, there are at least two things that we should consider when we develop the bylaw. One is the type of board we are. We are policy board, and maybe that, as Gamachu mentioned, we have gone through that bylaw, and so there is no clear description for the policy type of board. That is what we may develop by reading different or by sharing experiences of those people who involved in policy board. That is one thing. The second thing is, and which is on the process, is like Focus is applying for charity. We already hired the lawyer. The lawyer read the bylaw and she mentioned there are little discrepancies between what charity requires and what we put there. It's not because our bylaw is inferior to other, but because we have been a non-for-profit organization, and they in Canada, but not in US. In Canada, the charity bylaw is a little bit different from the normal non-for-profit organizations. So what we're gonna do, like there was comment from the charity directorate before what we need to amend, and we misplaced that letter. So I contacted them, and they sent it to us. When we gave that letter, we send that letter to the lawyer, and starting from there, she will give us her own version, legal version, so that we can include or remove from the bylaw. That doesn't withstand with the like developing our bylaw in such a way that other aspects like how we knowing the type of policy board, the difference between governing administrative governing board and the policy governing board of the organization. This is very critical because that is connected to the how the relation between the executive branch and the board works. So maybe a lot of work we need to do.
Very
So,
good. This,
so question then, is the current bylaw we have a valid bylaw in the sense that now with the organization, the non-profit societies, the Canadian organizations, which one do they have? Do they have the one we have?
Yes.
Okay.
I have one question. Is the Focus bylaws ready, or like you guys you have right now?
Yes, as I mentioned at the beginning, we had like in Alberta, when you make a bylaw, you submit to the corporate registry and they stamp it. And when we registered, it's not called registered, but it is called continuance from province to the federal. When we moved to federal, I can come to the Mohammed's legitimate question. When we moved from Alberta to the federal, we submitted the Alberta, the previous law we had. They continued it, they licensed us, and they expect us to develop or to amend that bylaw or make it fit to the national or federal corporation. So that is what we're doing now. Like the bylaw you have is a kind of bylaw they give you, bylaw maker, and we put some information from old bylaw and put in this bylaw maker app. So we produced it. Now we submit that bylaw to you, and it's you who just check it, add it, or remove it, and finally approve it.
Okay.
And then,
so
yeah.
Then that means this bylaw we have in our hand is not yet submitted to the federal.
Yeah, in that sense, it
so
is.
That means we actually do have another bylaw that is right now in effect.
That is what we can take that way too.
Can we have that one too?
Yes,
okay.
We can. I can send to Beef to right away, and she can post both of the bylaws.
Okay.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, please, because as Demsho mentioned, unless we have this bylaw is our just guiding line.
Yeah.
Unless we don't have that one, there is no way Demsho is gonna move from this position to another position unless we have everything on board. So that's why I was a little bit confusing when he said it, because we don't even know our organizational structures, which and also managing who is managing. managing, directing committees or board members and the policy makers. All this has to be clear, and everybody has to have its own job description. So before going to that details, if we get these bylaws and finalize everything on board, and then we just going in according to the bylaw is the best way, I think. So it's good to have everybody's and read, and maybe in a week. So it's good if you come back and discuss on it.
Yeah, that is
Hey,
a credible question. But when he resigns from this position, he is any person who applies to the positions that we have, compete with others and get the position. That is how it works. It's not moving from one position to another when he resigns.
Yeah, and you know, like, I don't know how urgent you want to deal with that, because I do believe that in whatever version of the bylaws we are going to agree on, whether it is the old bylaw or the current bylaw or the bylaw that we are going to approve, we are going to say that a board member cannot financially benefit from the organization.
Yes.
So we know that. So if Damsho has made up his mind, and that will actually help support the ongoing activities of the organization, and you wanted to deal with that, that I think is something I'm okay to entertain even now. If you two believe, if you, Badri and Damsho, believe that that's the best way to go.
Yeah, like this is very important point too. Like we succeeded with the project where I'm explaining to you. From the very beginning, he's working like me or like secretary, as I mentioned to you before, but he's not remunerated or he's not paid, because both bylaws, as Mohammed indicated, doesn't allow the board member to benefit from this organization. Like, he's working on the project on daily basis with me now. He's not resigned from here, and there is, like, he's not doing his business. He's working here. He was supposed to be, he's supposed to be at least made to pay his bill. We are not doing that because of the position. If you consider that, like, again, it can overlap. Like, if we consider while he is on the position as board, we cannot do anything. He's working voluntarily. So voluntary in the sense that you may understand what I mean.
I would like to say something. I mean, I mentioned that I was overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with the activities. The issue is of applying or not, it is my decision. I don't know. I've been volunteering for Focus for a long period of time as a volunteer. I've been working. I may continue volunteering as much as possible. The position, yes, Badri asked me to work with him. Whether I will apply or not, that is up to me to decide to be on there. My interest is what I would like is that the bylaws be finalized, and the way we have decided now, we don't know the election process is done, and then the organization, the board has its vacant field, position field, and it continues its activity. That's where I am interested in. It's not always about money. It's the passion you have to do the job, to help, to reach the people. I will always be there to support Focus as much as I can in every aspect to continue. The important thing is that we have a strong board and with clear guidance for the organization. And that's what I'm mostly interested in. And so the way we have agreed, if two could do that as soon as possible and everything is in place, there, the board. Okay? If you guys relieve me today, I'll be very happy too. Listen.
It would be unless there was like an interim, someone to fill the position in the meantime, but I think it would be a little difficult between now. I mean, obviously, if you're voting to resign, then we can put it to a vote as well if we have quorum. But I think until either someone steps in as an interim or we wait until we get the bylaw and the elections done over the next couple of weeks.
The decision is yours, guys. You decide. I'm open to every suggestion you have. If you say stay, okay. If you leave me, okay. No problem from my side. Thank you very much.
Carlos Damsho.
Yeah.
Carlos is raising his hand.
Oh, I didn't see that. Hello.
So Biftu has just said, if we have an interim, then we can let you go. So
okay.
We have to find out if there's somebody here that's willing to take over so that you can be released.
Okay.
And if not, you're stuck.
Go ahead, guys.
Okay, thank you, Badri and Damsho. And I would like to kind of support what Biftu just said a while ago, and Carlos also added on top. At this stage, I would like to have the board finalize the bylaw and have everything done within the upcoming 2 weeks. And if Damsho doesn't mind to wait for us until from today, so we'll have our next meeting in 2 weeks, then hopefully by then we can relieve you in a good faith and then have our bylaws finalized and everything complete. That's also what I would like to happen today.
Thank you. I can wait for 2 weeks, no problem.
Yeah, it looks like you are stuck, Damsho.
Yeah.
For a time being.
Thank you, guys.
No, it's not taking long actually. Maybe is how many weeks is that? Is it 1 or 2?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah. Hey, Carlos. Okay, Carlos.
I just think, Damsho, you have some hard work to do right now. You need to talk to some of these people on these squares and see who's going to bite. So you have some.
Okay.
Yeah, you have some hard work to convince someone.
Yeah.
Biftu, go ahead.
Yeah, just a point of clarification. I think it will take 2 weeks for us to review and come to some more finalized version of the bylaw. But in addition to that, we still have to set the time for the elections, right? Those are going to be 2 separate,
yes,
right, agenda items. So I think it'll be 2 weeks for the bylaw, and then another probably week at least, if not longer. So maximum 2 weeks, I think, for the election process, to give people time to review the positions and to nominate themselves and then to actually hold the elections.
Look, I will simplify this. We don't have to spend my time. Whether it's 4 weeks, 6 weeks,
Okay.
I don't mind. Okay? Yes?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I see. I understand your concern, but let's make everything in a formal way. So you need to wait, I guess.
Okay.
Even if physically you're not present, or just do your work or help Mr. Badri.
I'll do it.
Finally, once we finalize everything, yes, we are right to go.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
I think the majority are tending toward this. Mm. Yeah, the other thing I plead to you is that, like, as we promised you at the beginning, we didn't want to consume your time. We are always in need of this thing uh, expedited, and this is a formative bread for this organization. The more we come together and talk about the issues and the fix issues and the move forward, the better the things will go for this organization. Please, if you can dedicate sometimes like a week, or like not this week, the other week, like once a week for until we fix all these things, it's up to you. Like we just we are really we need you at this critical time.
Maybe to add to Badri's, you know, there are a lot of, so many of you have experienced so many things. We are still applying. Sometimes we may need you to help us with proposals or any other issues related to activities. Like we are developing job descriptions for people we are going to hire. I mean, it's not that we cannot do, it's a lot of work. Imagine, you all know, when you start something, you know, it's a lot of work. So if you are a volunteer, if you are really want to help us, we may send you some documents to look at, or we will ask you to help us with certain activities till we get out of this. This is not because we cannot do. It's not a weakness, or we cannot do, but it's just the time, how we are, the situation in which we are. In one way, we are moving from, you know, small organization to another. Probably if the next project approved, we're going to be stuck till we hire people. We do training for volunteers now. Badri will read the report maybe after this. So many trainings are there to be done, and training the staff, training the volunteers, training so many things. I mean, if we request you to help us, please, I'm willing. So we request that you could help us on certain things. So, where are we now?
Oh, Mohammed is raising his hand.
Yes, Mohammed.
Yes. I want to go back to the bylaw for a minute.
Okay.
I think we need to somehow agree on some sort of an organizational hierarchy. That the bylaw is not very clear in terms of, for example, what are the organizational hierarchy of this foundation. In similar organizations where you have a lot of members, and then that constitutes your general assembly, or you want to call it the congress of the organization, and then board members are elected from that membership. Okay, and I think as Biftu said, that is not clear. But I actually, even through reading the bylaw, it feels like more of like a corporate bylaw, where you can actually bring directors and board members from outside the membership. They don't even need to be a member to be on the diet. Like, for example, these big companies and big corporations, you actually don't have memberships. So you actually, as a board, recruit your directors from either people who are famous or people who are well-known or something like that. So I think these two models has to be a little bit clarified. And I think it will be clarified by having a very clear organizational hierarchy, in the sense that this is where the membership is, this is where the borders are, the board of members are elected, and then the appointment of officers comes after that.
Okay, Beef 2. Thank you, Mohammed.
Yes, thank you, Mohammed. You sound knowledgeable, pretty knowledgeable about this stuff. And I was wondering if we could then maybe, like, we'll do the Google Doc, everyone will comment, but maybe task you as like a lead on kind of managing the bylaw development.
I think the idea of having everybody's input is very good. If we have the first bylaw, which is actually right now in effect, okay, that means that is a bylaw that has been cleared by the corporate registry as an acceptable bylaw. The one we actually have in our hand now is the one that's developed through that tool that you use to develop a template, okay, is actually haven't been submitted and haven't been accepted as an acceptable bylaw yet. So I think if we start from the one that is actually being submitted to the government and being accepted, which is the provincial one, and go from there, we can build on that. I can when we read through it and when we read the comments, I can input and say, this is where I feel there is some sort of this or that, and then we can get somewhere from there.
I think there is very critical point we should take into consideration when we talk about the previous bylaw and this bylaw, because these two bylaws are under two different acts. The previous one is under Society Act. This one under Non-for-Profit Act. We have the act is for the non-for-profit, this one. This one is again, that although it is not a kind of business corporation, this is also called non-for-profit corporation. And the other one is Society Act on the lower level, like a kind of grassroots organization. So the intention, relation to like membership issue, organizational structure, they may share a lot of similarities, as Mohammed says. When you have members and deal with the members, and when you don't have members, the organization structure, like the general council, the board, and the executive, these are a little bit different, and it is very important to consider that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think having this template is a very good starting place, because we know what are the different acts, what are the different requirements under that Non-for-Profit Corporation Act, and then we can apply those through the one that we have already have.
Well, I think this is ongoing. Bylaw is something through experience also. We may find out something which we didn't expect, and it could be developed in the future life. But if we are not complete at this time, I mean in the future, the board will check, review it, and then come up with new ideas. And the most important thing is to have the foundation now on the ground where we can step on and go forward. And I'm glad that P2 read that, and there are possibilities of sharing our ideas on the doodle. And then we can go ahead. We let the board members, you go through it. There are materials too to refer to, and I think at the time Badri sent you some materials regarding this. Now for Sala and 2G, Badri sent you some documents to refer to. And
no, we received that and we did, but that's not a bylaw. In fact, that's a very, it's a very big stuff.
No, it's something to discuss about. Discuss about policy governing board, and the other one is something governing. What that word? Policy governing board and
managing
administrative.
Yeah. So maybe if you go through that, you can share on the day. Okay. So Are we done with this? Any comments or any suggestions on the bylaw?
I think the last thing I would like to say is there are two organizations I know who are interested or whose work are to train boards, and they are qualified with these non-for-profit things. We try to contact them on Monday. Most of the time they charge you. They charge you like to train, and we'll see that to just help our understanding with the board. It's not bad to take this note of this. Yeah.
Badri, actually, also, I'm sure we can get that. I also want you to say that Alberta Cultures, Alberta Art and Culture,
they are the one. They
have
are
a free board development training.
yes.
Okay.
One of the two are Alberta Culture Board Development.
And they are free.
Yes. Because of, look, when they are free, they give you like indefinite time. We applied twice and they are not responding, just like they say, one time they said they don't have personnel. The second time we're waiting for 2 weeks. I'm just, yeah.
Okay. So at least we have to go ahead with what we have agreed upon. And if needs come, we will invite the people from Alberta board. So because it's free, they can discuss with our board in the future. Unless there is any other suggestions. I think we can adjourn this agenda and go to hearing to the activities report. That, what time is it now?
We spent 1 hour now because we started around like 2:30. It's 3:30 now. I don't know just like who is blamed for that 30 minutes.
Good.
It's okay. I think we are at the start of constructing this together, and should be okay at the start. But we will improve like gradually.
Okay. So can we take 30 minutes to, or you had enough for today?
No, 30 minutes. Like I will read it in like 5 minutes or less, even, and then discuss about that in 10 minutes maximum, and we can conclude.
It's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay with you guys if we stay 20 minutes more?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got until about 6 o'clock, so that's like 25 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. As we already mentioned, it is great days for Focus family to get grant of this magnitude from the government. So before we go to the detail of the activity we are undertaking, I will just try to mention what we have been talking before. We applied for Black-led organization. It's a kind of capital fund to purchase equipment for office. So hopefully we have a kind of 75% chance of winning that. And there are other, like we applied for CIP, which is mentioned last time. I'm talking this for those who were not there on last meeting. CIP is a community initiative program. We are applying for multicultural and indigenous community inclusive sort of things. That was very tough, and I think it's very hard to get fund from the Alberta government, because the question they ask and the what is like very tough anyways. We finish it like maybe by the end of beginning of the next week, Monday or Tuesday, we submit it. Our administrative assistant is working on that. We applied for casino and we are expecting. So these are what are being done. Concerning the grant project, we really like to thank the government of Canada and the Red Cross, which gave us this grant on behalf of the government. Please allow me to briefly go through the ongoing project and how we are trying to accomplish it. So we applied for $98,000. They approved it for the whole with 9% of administrative cost added, which makes it total of $106,000. The description of the project, this description of the disbursement of the fund and how we are planning to utilize is as follows. We reported last time that we would hire 4 individuals, project director, $30 per hour for 20 hours a week, administrative assistant, $20 per hour for 15 hours a week, volunteer coordinator, $25 per hour for 15 hours a week, delivery driver, $20 per hour for 15 hours a week, direct aid to the beneficiaries. These people are hired to benefit people to do the following things I'm mentioning. Hand sanitizer, 1 liter per household for 50 households, but we already reached like 125 people applied. So like if we said 1 liter per house, I don't know if we go strictly. I think the government fund is always strict, whether we give 1 liter per household or we divide that liter into 4 or buy like 250 grams bottle for the hand sanitizer instead of 1 liter and distribute it for the beneficiaries. In this case, we can talk to the Red Cross and ask for the flexibility. That is what they sent us. Anyways, it is to just let you know. Mask, $1 per person for 2 times, cost $200. This is really below what is on the market. To buy like 100 masks, you have to spend $25 to $34, like 25 with the Costco and the 34 with the Walmart. Then gloves are also indicated here. Groceries, like $35 per person. If a family has like 3 family members, it would be better. For 1 person, it is very small anyways. And this one, we promised to distribute to 80 people for 12 times. Like the project runs for 24 weeks. And we may provide this like twice a week, once in 2 weeks. This is extremely below the people, those who needed help I think it is our right to reduce, or we may do it to 12 times instead of like 12 times. We can reduce it to 6 times. We'll see what we can do, because what we expected at the time and the demand is very way higher than what we expected. Logistics for food distribution, like 40 destination a day. There are money allocated for the kilometers the driver travel. Will all these are like, especially when it comes to these logistics and direct aid to the beneficiaries, what we expected and what the demand needs from us are quite different, and the demand is very high. Maybe having more people need our help, assist us in long term, but not for this project. Again, I would like to mention that when we signed the agreement for this grant, they also sent another letter saying you are also qualified for the following project. We don't know what that project mean, whether it is like compensating or just supplementing what they gave us now, or entirely different. But what we know at this level is that they said you can qualify, your organization qualify for the following fund. So transportation to other cities, to other Albertan cities like Brooks, we put $770, and Calgary $548, Potomac $794. We said we distribute to 4 locations. It's not a kind of must, but we said we can even go beyond that if the need is more urgent. So tentatively, we have Potomac, Edmonton, Calgary, and Brooks. And they are located transportation money for not to drive these logistics back and forth. Maybe this particular one is for traveling and working on the project. Training as project activity, training for food distribution, for training is for 8 hours. I think we train 15 volunteers. Maybe we can get more volunteers than 15, like up to 20. Anyways, what we did, like for the trainer, $30 per hour. Again, public health awareness using video promotion. This is where many of us can help us. Like the project activities, especially it is geared toward this COVID. And we have, we did train or give public awareness about COVID at the beginning of COVID, like more than 4 or 5 times. And there are videos from there. But when we do like a video for awareness and the public awareness promotion, we may make a sort of clip which shows like dramatically how people learn from what we did. Like traditionally, people may believe different, about Corona in different way, and we may show that. And the health experts, and again, the camera people, as well as like those who can artistically or in very attractive or make something in very attractive way can help us on that. Anyways, that 1,000 is allocated for promotion, for the promotion of our activities. And so purchasing 25 laptops for our kids. The laptops, the maximum money spent for each laptop, which is in effect is a Chromebook, is $300, including the accessories. And we already talked to Staples and Best Buy. We may talk to Costco and get the quote for that. You know, they mentioned that, like when we purchase food or whatever, we don't buy from anywhere we like. We have to get quotes. We have to see the best price for the items we buy. So that is why we are even trying to collect quotes for grocery items we buy from Costco, Walmart, or other stores. So we need, yeah, that is, we already mentioned about that. We need board members who want to volunteer on this. And I mentioned Abu Salah and Abu Muhammad Abanaga. Muhammad Abanaga is not participating in this, and I doubt if he continues as board member with us. Anyways, the health experts can help us how we can make that, especially the promotion video. I think, unless you have questions, this is sort of like brief description of the detail of the activities.
Thank you, Badri. Do you have questions?
Yeah, I do have one question for you, Badri. Is that promotion video need to be in English or in Afan Oromo?
Oh, very interesting question. I think it should be either in both, or at least the objective, like even at one point they mentioned we have to appreciate or thank the Canadian government and the Red Cross. So I think the promotion is intended for the public. Again, they are always very serious. If the distribution of food or other items we do are mainly for Oromo, or we also include neighbors or other people. So in that case, I think English and maybe translated in Afan Oromo.
Okay. I think we have to put on our website also about Red Cross, donated by Red Cross, about when we mention about this project. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other questions, comments? Residing. Okay. Well, so it seems we are done.
Question, please.
Okay, Mohammed.
Okay, so can you give us the time frame for this project, Badri? So my understanding is that it's from now till October, and then you need to submit the final report by when?
Yes, at the beginning they said it was from May to October, end of October. But now they said until the project is finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have actually.
Yeah,
okay.
I think the sooner is the better. We have to start it as soon as possible. And if it is dragged for some reason, I think they give us like a kind of grace period.
And then the reporting, how long after that?
Oh, 6 months.
6 months after the end of the project. Okay.
But they mentioned like they deposited 85,000 now. They release the rest of the money when we do the first interim report.
Yes. Okay. No more questions? Comment? Okay. We are going to.
I think one thing, Beef to raise, I don't know if it is answered or not. Like, how do we think to continue with the board? Like, do we reduce the number or continue this way, or bear sometimes like to accommodate these kind of things we are having now? Did you fix that? I think that's a question left open. I don't know if you.
I think Wadri, it's just a common sense. The board is going to discuss about bylaws and other issues. I don't think they will only discuss about bylaws when they get together. When it comes to the board, they will in detail discuss. This is going to be something big beyond the bylaws. Also, if they have concerns, they will discuss on the issue and solve it. The other thing is, I don't know, the major issue is about Saturdays. Beef2 mentioned, and everybody was quiet. Will we continue having our meeting on Saturdays? Are you okay with that? If the majority says okay, then sorry for Beef2. Beef2. So we can go ahead.
Is there any other date suggestion or?
I was gonna actually send a doodle poll.
Yes, that was what she said.
Yeah, so I'll send a doodle poll. I'll just keep all the dates, I guess, like open or reasonably open, or I'll check with Mr. Dumshaw and Mr. Badri to see what works for you guys specifically. And I'll send that out to everyone to the group email, and then we can have a better sense. If there's maybe a couple of days that work, then we can just decide which days to go with.
Okay.
I have a sense of that, like Saturday might work for majority, or if it's Sunday. Anyway, I would say weekend might work for most of the people. But yeah, definitely send us that one, and let's see if we could have any other options.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and all thing, and I really appreciate your presence. And
Badri, I will contact some people who might able to do those videos for us, and I will let you know.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
I talked to Adil to record and process it. Maybe with a video camera, we don't have a problem. I like his time is always weird, and that is what worries me. Otherwise, he is talented and he can do it.
Awesome.
What you're helping me with is how we can put like very interesting and up to the standard.
Yeah, we can talk on that. I don't have that kind of like skill, but I have people.
Yes.
So yeah, we will figure it out. I will call you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think, Mohammed,
Yeah.
there has been a lot of COVID-related educational materials that have been developed by government and non-governments, and lots of videos, lots of posters. If we look at all of those, or many of those, and then we can come up with an idea, and then do it, will be good.
Right. Okay. One idea can come out from the people we give the groceries on the staffs too, because the way they appreciated our work, the way they see things, we can get some idea from there. The other idea, as Mohammed said, from research. And so a combination of this one can just give us a sort of idea to what we make. Right.
Okay.
I would say great job on the application for those who really did the hard work. It wasn't easy. I think the process would take some efforts. I would like to appreciate Badri and Damsho and those others who worked on the project, on the fundraiser. I mean, yeah, that's a lot. That's a huge progress for Focus, I think.
Yes.
Others might even be able to be interested to take the experience from. I've seen some kind of conversation on our WhatsApp group. Some other organizations are trying to ask how they could also do the same, which shows us like Focus is going ahead of the others, which make us proud. Great job. Thumbs up on that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah, for your information, when we first heard about this grant, we had a meeting with people from all over Canada. Minister Ahmed Hussein came to that meeting, and he explained about it. After that, we as Focus tried to contact different organizations to give them the links and information. So I think, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
okay, thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
And is there any last word you would like to say, Mohammed?
Mohammed, me? No, I'm good.
Okay, we are done for the day. Huh? Tuji?
One more question.
Okay.
Just I want to remind you guys in the beginning, Badri said that let's discuss on how we strengthen the managing board or managing directors. So don't forget that one. Maybe in the next meeting, if we have a big agendas and let's sit down and discuss on how we are strengthening our managing board, that would be great. And then the second one is those who are just missing the meeting or our board members. I think it is good to contact them and ask if they have if they are willing to just participate and doing something good with us. Let them do. Otherwise, it's better to make a decision on that as well. So that's the two things I want to mention. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do that. We promise we'll do that.
Okay.
Like that's it.
Yeah, thank you for your time, guys.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
For showing up. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Damsho and Badri, for your.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nagati.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Musadeni Avesa?
Namasadeni Ave.
And Mafsi Avensia, but yeah, so Jolle Jirete, when video sanity, maybe Jolle Gariti Jiratreas or concept media to Kishogavan. You are checked Jolen see the lagu, then they started, then they say otherwise, one asira maybe in Wergar than the Yokajirata and Gafata.
Okay, now obsi Johara, Akasman Naturi Johara, Aye or Bosala Kenya only build.
Yeah, Rakonga.
Okay, Galatum Fayati. Johara. Bar siamne dagi su nama bro sene jenneti remove sigone yo sita he nama wana grade 7 jawannini ya kasi esani fi